Hey guys, how you going? It's Lecky here.
I'm Aarvi.
Welcome to the Positive Experience Podcast. Today's the trenches segment, and today it's going to be on Aarvi going through a do-it-yourself squat, and I'm going to be the dummy, the test dummy, and Aarvi's going to teach me some bits and pieces on some activation to try and help sharpen up the squat.
Yep, so squat, this one's not going to go too strenuous into it with the instructions and all. So you're going to keep it pretty straightforward, and it's just a simple way they can start even doing it at home. The reason squat's really good, gets those big muscles moving, especially the lower body, and it's a great way to burn fat as well, especially if you do high reps and keep going. So it's the best exercise, and it's really good for rehab, because if you have bum knees, something going on with the hips, ankle even, good squat, always good for rehab. All right, so we'll get started. So first of all, before we get into the squats, I like to do a bit of activation, as you've probably all seen in my blog posts. So let's just get Lecky to lie down for us.
On my back?
Yes, please.
This way?
Yep. So, yep. Thank you. Right. Cool. So we're going to have a look at his hip range first and see how much of a difference that ankle activations actually makes. So all I'm going to do is take his. He doesn't have tight pants on, but they seem pretty good. All right. So I'm just going to take it back. All right. So that's his first. That's his range there, without his back lifting off, but I feel a bit of resistance about there. Would you agree? You feel
Yep.
And if I can take it probably about there.
That's it.
And then we'll see how it is as it falls out. Good. So his hips are pretty good. Doesn't have a very deep hip socket, and we're looking when he's doing his squats. He'll probably be squatting in between shoulder width and inside. Anything from this far, you can see the knee sort of starts to fall down. So that means it's a bit too much. And we don't want to go that much, because why? Because we want to keep the shin bone nice and straight when we're squatting. All right. So let's have a look, compare the other side quickly. All right. Okay. This side feels a bit looser.
Tighter, yeah.
Yeah. A bit tight on this side.
Yeah.
All right, cool. So, all right. So we had a look at his hip range. There was a bit of resistance. Let's do some activation, see how much of a difference it makes. So all I'm going to get you to do is pop this blue band on. So this is just an iron edge, extra heavy band. Put it on between your feet, all the way up.
Your knees?
Just go below your knees. Yep, lie on your stomach. Good. All right. So first one, we're just going to get you to spread. Go up onto your toes, and I want you to spread both legs as far as you can and bring it back in. So slide the toes. That's it. And out again. Good. And bring it in.
Yeah,
so
feel that right in there.
So give me about 15.
Okay, so let's say I've done 15.
Good. And where did you feel most of the work, like you mentioned around there?
Yeah.
Good. Alright, and then we'll quickly slide up the band. Just above the knees. Good. Alright, pop your hands under your hip. Alright, bend one leg. And what I want you to do is just lift up your leg up, but without anything lifting up from your hip. Does that make sense? So the hip should be driving onto your hand, and all you're doing is just lifting the leg up. And good. Give me a few, so give me about 10 if you're doing it at home, about 10 of these. Really don't want the hip to lift off the ground. And then you'll do the same. Let's say you did 10, do the same on the other side. Good. So you could even do this one first and move on to the other one next, whatever you feel comfortable. So this is just getting the big glute, taking the hamstring out of the equation, because this is nice and bent. Good. Let's say you did about 10 on each side. And if there's usually a weakness, you normally notice the tighter side will be a little bit harder. And then we're going to do the lucky last, bend both knees, feet stuck together. And I want you to spread those knees as far as you can. Good. And come back in. So slide. Nice. And again. So by this time you should feel a real big burn. Nice. And where are you feeling the work there?
Yeah, deep in the deep in there.
Yep. Good. I'd say you did about 10. Now you can whip the band off. Good. And let's get you to lie quickly on your back to see how the hips change. Hip range change. Just relax, good. So take it back. Already a big
Yeah,
difference.
it feels looser.
Yeah, and he didn't do the full reps. Imagine if he did the whole thing.
Oh, magic.
Alright, let's have a look at this side. Good. Feels a bit better. Alright,
Yeah.
now let's get you to center, and now we're ready for the squat.
Okay.
So as we seen earlier, it should be about shoulder width or a little bit wider. But if he goes too wide, we've seen that knee was sort of falling down. So when you squat down, the knees will cave in.
So I've done these activation exercises, my backside's like awake
Yep.
and happy. Now I'm ready to start my squat.
Yep. So let's go legs about shoulder width for you.
Yep.
Whatever you feel comfortable. So feet can be pointing up, whatever you feel good. But wherever your feet go, that's where your knees got to go. So if my legs are out like this, my knees got to go out there. All right.
Okay.
So before we even squat down, let's just get you to do a normal squat. See how you go first.
Okay.
Good. How'd that feel?
Pretty good.
Okay. Let's give you a couple of cues now. That was a pretty good squat. So I'm not going to say that was a really bad squat. So before you even go down, I want you to empty the tank or spread the. So push your knees out.
Okay.
Yeah. Or pretend there's a band around your knees.
Yeah.
And pretend you're pushing the band.
Okay, so as I squat, I'm pushing outward, going as deep as I can.
Good. And then coming back up. How'd that feel?
A little bit of tightness on the left groin.
Okay, and then give me a few more and just think about you spreading the floor. Good. All right, if you want to come to the side. Good. So keep, and now activate, turn that core on like Bruce Lee's about to kick you in the stomach. And let's go down again. And I'll tell you where to stop. Go, keep going, about there, and then up. So any lower, you get that butt wink where the bottom tucks in, and that's not really good for the low spine, especially when you load it.
So where's that again?
And keep going. About there. Good. So just about parallel, and coming back up.
Okay.
Good. So how'd that feel?
Yeah, pretty good.
Yeah. All right. So what were the main cues? We start with shoulder width. So you got to find your most comfortable stance, and usually comfortable stance comes down to preference. Some people prefer it closer. But the more wider you are, the more room there is for the hips to sort of open up. Then what we do next is sort of push the knees out. So we're sort of going on the side of our feet, but not too much. Knees are pointing, and then we're just going to fall straight down and really keep it controlled, and then come back up. All right, not going to go too strenuous onto it and get too much instructions. Just the main one, just try and keep your knees pushing out. Pretend there's a band there, and you just want to push out. Maybe in the future I'll go a bit more detail and get like a barbell or something like that. Just the basic squat. Knees out, pretend you're spreading the floor, and you're going down. There you go, that's pretty much do-it-yourself squat for you to take home. Do a little bit of activations, really loosens up the hips. Even Lecky probably noticed after he did a few. I noticed when I moved his hip was a lot more smoother compared to his previous time. And yeah, anything to add on to that?
Yeah, so whether you're looking at athletic performance and you want to improve your squat, you want to improve your sprint, improve your jump, you can use these activation exercises to power your squat so that you can load up a lot more effectively. Or if you're injured, you're at the other end of the spectrum and you're trying to come back from, a sore back, bung hip, pulled hammy, you can use those activation exercises to bring you back so that you can eventually squat. So depending on the whole spectrum, if you're really wounded or you're pretty good but you want to get better, these activation exercises that Aarvi's put us onto is really helpful, helps you squat, helps your movement, and I hope you guys find it really helpful. Link to this video, we're going to have the blog post that Aarvi's put together. Okay, he's learned from really great minds on how to move better, and so that's there for you so you can try and improve your squat, your jump, and get yourself back to be 100. Okay, so that's the end of our Trenches episode today. Do-it-yourself squats. Thanks for tuning in to the Positive Experience podcast. We'll catch up with you guys next time.